Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Sunday, May 8th, 2022. Time is 4:50 p.m. Jersey time. Okay, so this is a story that I've been seeing the headline. I didn't really read it, but now it's been all over the place, so we're going to report it, and we're going to read this together if you haven't heard about it already and find out what's going on, because I really don't know the full extent of this. I just know that a 12-year-old was shot in the back by a hero. Okay, this is reported on BBC.com, and this came out, what is this, 5 days ago? So, we have the 3rd, May 3rd, somewhere around that time. Former U.S. police officer charged with murder and death of 12-year-old. There it is, and there's the poor kid's picture right there, you know. All right, let's find out. Authorities say that Edsel Mendoza, well, that's guilty right there with a name like that. 26, oh, look at that. Another one under the age of 30. Well, I don't have to tell you how I feel about that, right? Hiring cops under the age of 30. Engaged in tactical, unsound pursuit of Thomas T.J. Sedero and shot him despite knowing he was unarmed. Police believe a friend of his was involved in theft of a weapon. Mr. Mendoza was arrested on Sunday. According to a presentment of facts released by Philadelphia's district attorney, Mr. Mendoza was part of a group of 4 plainclothes officers who confronted Thomas and a 17-year-old friend, identified in court documents as NK. On March 1st, officers believe that NK was tangentially connected to a stolen firearms investigation. Well, you know, the only people allowed to have guns is police, right? Because they're the only ones that are allowed to shoot and kill us. When they attempted to stop the boys, a shot went off and broke a rear passenger window, the presentment added. When the boys attempted to flee, Mr. Mendoza chased Thomas and fired at him 3 times. So imagine that, you're running away and he's firing at you. Now, again, how many people out there, all right, given the situation, there's a 17-year-old involved and a 12-year-old. Okay, so I think it's reasonable to assess that, all right, my focus is on the 17-year-old. I don't believe that a 12-year-old has the full capacity to figure out what's going on here. But all right, so they take off. The 17-year-old runs faster than the 12-year-old. The cop, you're running up. You got the 12. You're closing in on the 12-year-old. So you're going to take your gun out and shoot the 12-year-old in back. All right. Is any rational person out there think that that's the right thing to do? Tell me, folks. Am I wrong here? I mean, does anybody have to think that that's the right thing to do? I think the thing to do is you run up and you grab him by the back of the shirt and say, all right, you, let's go. No, he's going to shoot him in the back because he probably thought he could get away with it. All right, let's read more. Mr. Mendoza chased Thomas and fired at him 3 times. One was enough. He had to shoot him 3. He must to make sure the kid's dead. The 3rd shot, the document alleged, took place even though Mr. Mendoza knew that Thomas' weapon had been discarded some 40 feet away. Thomas had stopped running at the time the final shot was fired. So if he dropped the gun, why would you not stop and get the gun? I would say the gun is probably the most important thing first. So you got the gun, you got fingerprints. From there, you move on with your investigation. Thus, when Mendoza fired the 3rd and fatal shot, he knew the 12-year-old, 5-foot-tall, 111-pound Thomas Sedero no longer had a gun and no ability to harm him, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Kreshner told reporters on Monday. But he fired a shot through his back, nonetheless killing him. Well, we all know these cops fear for their lives. Every day that they get up, they live in fear. They're fear-based. It's all about them. It's always all about them. Our lives don't matter. That's one thing I've watched and learned. I see all these pictures of, cops get killed doing something stupid or putting themselves in a situation they shouldn't be in. And then next you know, there's a big, 5-mile long procession for them. It's all about them. It's all about them getting home to their family. What about when we get in presence of them? We want to go home to our families too. But see, in their minds, you don't count. They count. They're up here. We're down here. It's all about them. That's what a psychopath does. Doesn't feel any pain. Thinks that it's all around them. But he fired a shot to the back nonetheless, killing him. Mr. Mendoza was fired by the police force soon after the incident, so bravo to the police department for firing him right away. But the police commissioner saying at the time that the department's use of force policy had been violated. According to Mr. Krasner, much of the evidence against Mr. Mendoza stems from video footage of the shooting, which shall not be released until authorized by a judge. He described the video as disturbing to watch and said that Thomas was essentially face down on the sidewalk and possibly surrendering. Now, this is another thing, that you gotta understand with the psychopath, the narcissist, they're control freaks. They must be in control. So when this officer tells them to stop and they say, screw you, I'm out of here, that triggers their mind because now you have thumbed your nose up to their authority and that triggers them. And how many situations do we see this where a cop gets triggered because somebody doesn't respect or doesn't acknowledge his authority over another human being, doesn't give him what his ego demands, which is, I need respect. You need to know that I'm more valuable than you. Let's see. Mr. Mendoza was taken into custody on Sunday and is being held without a bail. A preliminary hearing has been set for May 16th. A public defender who represented him at a bail hearing on Monday could not be... Wait a second. He had to get a public defender? A local chapter of Fraternal Order of Police has now said it will provide him with a lawyer. Well, isn't that nice? See, this is a good example how the unions propagate this and protect bad cops. Thomas' great-grandmother, Mary Siderio, was quoted by a local CBS affiliate as saying she was happy to hear the charges against Mr. Mendoza. Well, where's the parents of the kid? So, this is another problem. This kid, put himself, not that this gives the officer a right to do what he did, but this kid put himself in a situation that created this perfect storm. So again, who is watching over this kid? Is this another kid from a single parent home with an absentee father? Why is a 12-year-old running around with a 17-year-old? I'm so heartbroken I can't sleep, she said. None of us can sleep. It's horrible. Well, of course it's horrible. All right, well, another citizen, add that to the list of the 1,000 plus that they kill each year. And it's just another sad story, Another life is taken by the hands of a well-trained professional hero out there. People think I'm joking, but I'm serious about it. Well-trained professional heroes out risking our lives as he protects and serves the government, and that certainly applies right here. Till next time, people.